Hey guys, what's up? Today I have an NU match, and this one is against Pyrotus or something like that. But just before this match, I used a team almost identical to this. I actually had a Kangaskhan and spot of Miltank, and I was building my team, and I brought both of them, and I'm like, oh, I have two normal types, but I want Miltank because it's like a physical wall with Stealth Rocks. So I decided it's like Kangaskhan out, but I actually took out Miltank instead. So I had the battle. Turns out it worked out great. I had Maractus kill a Tangela, and then my Kangaskhan was like about to get 3 kills and screw over and then it disconnected because my internet Wi-Fi dropped for like a brief second. It was really annoying. But this is another great match, so don't worry about that. As I said, I do have my Miltank in that Kangaskhan spot, so we're going to go ahead and see what's going to happen. I'm going to lead with my Miltank because he doesn't really have anything that's like really strong, especially on the special side, because Miltank is physical wall, or at least this specific set is, and I can get up rocks, and he's got nothing to rapid spin, and you know what, I mean, I can be generally annoying. He's going to lead with his Banette, so I was sort of thinking also that this might be a Trick Room team with just Firo for, like, in case he doesn't get Trick Room up or something. Because that's what they like to do, because it's kind of slow, but it's still pretty strong. He is going to trick me, and I'm like, okay, and he gives me a lagging tail, and I'm just like, fuck. Although I was thinking now, because he had a lagging tail, I'm like, okay, he's probably going to have Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak, maybe like Will-O-Wisp or something. I'm going to switch to my Maractus. Just sort of thinking for Sucker Punch. I'm not really certain about it, but I figured I want to get Hazards up mainly, because if he does have Shadow Sneak as his only attack, it's not really going to do too much, and Will-O-Wisp, I won't mind it too much. He's going to send his Gothitelle, who's a special wall, and he's going to frisk my Choice Scarf, so of course he's going to figure Thunder Wave is the best option. Works, whatever. But I do get my spikes up, so that's great. And I'm going to go for the second layer because I figure Psychic's not really going to do all that much damage. It does do actually more than half, which is a lot more than I thought it would. And I'm going to get fully paralyzed, which means no more second layer of spikes, which is unfortunate. But you know what? I'm going to switch out and I'm going to go into my Gardevoir because they're walling each other. They're pretty much the same-ish kind of Pokemon. Gardevoir's special attack is quite a bit higher and its defense is lower. But overall, they're pretty similar. I don't think Gothitelle gets as much support options though. Like it doesn't get Wish or probably doesn't get like Taunt or Will-O-Wisp or whatever. I'm gonna go for Will-O-Wisp, just burn it, and I believe he's gonna Thunder Wave me just to paralyze me. But it's not really a big deal because I do have a Heal Beller in my Miltank. The only problem is because now it's got a lagging tail. It's actually slower than most of his team as opposed to being actually faster than most of it because of its base 100 speed. And yeah, that's not really nice. But whatever. He's gonna switch to his Skuntank as I predict him to switch because I'm like, he's not gonna be able to do anything to me. I almost switched out myself, but I'm like, you know what? Just go for the Will-O-Wisp. His Psychic's really not doing anything, and he's probably got like Thunder Wave. Well, he does have Thunder Wave, and then like, I don't know what else, like some other support options. Like he won't have like Calm Mind or anything, or any like maybe Shadow Ball or whatever. Well, he could have, but even that won't really do all that much damage because it's not stab, and I mean I am a special wall after all. But he's gonna switch to Skuntank. I am gonna burn him, so I thought I was great. I thought he's gonna go for the pursuit, so I'm gonna stay and see what he wants to do. He goes for the Dark Pulse instead, and I'm just like, I do get paralyzed on my first protect, so that's why he hit me. I'm gonna go for protect again because the first one didn't go because I got paralyzed. Just to gain up a little bit of extra health, and I'm gonna switch to my Miltank at this point because it should be able to take it into max HP, and yeah, it's not really all that useful because of the lagging tail, although it is still nice. But I had nothing else to really take the Dark Pulse, so I didn't want to sacrifice my Gardevoir yet because it walls his Gothitelle pretty well, and it's probably going to wall his Lunatone, to be completely honest. But yeah, he's going to go for the Acid Spray. I don't really know why. I'm going to go for the Milk Drink just because I figure I can live a Dark Pulse, and as long as he didn't flinch me, I get it up, and he dies to his Life Orb and burn damage. But he goes, like I said, Acid Spray, and I'm like, oh, okay. I figure now he's going to send in a special attacker, and that's going to be his Gothitelle. So I'm going to switch out to, I believe, my Gardevoir at this point, because I'm like, I don't want to take a -2 special attack, or like a special attack while I'm at -2, more accurately. And I already know Gardevoir walls him, so like, and if he has Toxic or anything like that, that's not going to do anything because I'm paralyzed. An interesting thing, too, here is I trace his Frisk, and then his Frisk activates on his leftovers. And I didn't think that would happen, but it makes sense, because it's like Frisk is not useful any other time, but it's just cool to see that double activation of the abilities. Anyways, so we're sort of sitting in here, not really doing much. I'm just going to go for the Wish because I figure he's probably going to switch out, and I want to get up some of my HP. He's going to switch to his Lunatone, and you know what? These things, they can have Calm Mind, but it's like, Psychic and Ice Beam is usually what they have, along with like Recover or Baton Pass or Rock Polish. I mean, again, Shadow Ball, same kind of thing with Gothitelle. It would do quite a lot, but I don't really think he'll have it. He goes for the Stealth Rocks instead, as I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I have now burned 3 Pokemon on this team, and that is really great, because burning stuff helps a lot. Toxic is nice against walls, but I don't know, it's just, you don't usually get really like a full-on stall if you have a balanced team. Like, unless the wall like really screws you over, you don't really need Toxic that much. Anyways, he's gonna switch into his Shift Tree, and I actually went for the Psychic here, so it didn't matter that I got paralyzed. I would love to be able to say that I went for the Will-O-Wisp, but I did indeed go for the Psychic. I'm going to expect him to either Sucker Punch, maybe, or start setting up a Swords Dance, or potentially a Nasty Plot, and just go for the Will-O-Wisp. And I do burn him, and he does Swords Dance, so that's perfect. He's now pretty crippled. He's going to go for the Swords Dance again, because whatever. At this point, I'm going to switch to Miltank because he's burned and I'm a physical wall. I can take his hits and it won't be a big deal. He is going to go for the nature power here. He told me he was worried about me having Sap Zipper. I don't, because this is a wall, so I have Thick Fat, because ice and fire attacks are a little more common than grass attacks, and a +1 attack is useless when my only offensive move is Seismic Toss, so I really don't care about that, although it does prevent it completely. He's going to get a crit on that Earthquake, which really sucks, as I Seismic Toss him down to where the burn will kill him. So now basically I'm sitting in here with very little HP, and I'm slower guaranteed. So I'm like, I don't know. I think Firo would have still been able to kill me if he went for like a Return or a Braver, or if it doesn't get Braver, Drill Peck. So I don't think it really mattered, but I'm going to go to my Basculin because I figure an Adaptability Life Orb Aqua Jet is going to do enough damage to kill the Firo, because it's like a Firo. But he's actually going to switch out to his Lunatone, and it's funny because at this point he's like, oh, that may seem like a stupid move, and I'm like, yes, I agree. He's like, oh, what, wait, and I was like, okay. I don't know what he was referring to, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, his Firo is Scarfed, it turns out, so it's like, I guess he was thinking of that to beat my Electrode, but whatever. I sent him my Maractus here because it's sort of pseudo fodder, and I know he's going to go for the Sucker Punch anyways, and I want to save my my Basculin because I know Firo is going to be annoying, especially if it is Scarf, which, as I said already, it is, but I don't know it at this point quite yet. So, yeah, I know Aqua Jet's going to be very useful, especially now that he's going to switch back in and be at less than half health because of Stealth Rock. So, yeah, but I go for Spikes. He's going to go for Destiny Bond. I'm going to go for Spikes again as he Shadow Claws me, but he kills me with Shadow Claw. As I said, I was expecting it to be Shadow Sneak. But, yeah, it's not. At this point, I'm like, okay, let's go into Electrode, because why not, right? I'm going to go for the Reflect, because this is actually a dual screen set. I don't really like the sort of straight special attacker set, because it's really just like HP Ice is the only other attack it gets, other than like Thunderbolt and Volt Switch. But yeah, he actually gets Paralyzed here, which is not too useful, because I'm obviously faster than him. But it is nice in a little bit, you'll see. I'm going to go for the Light Screen because I figure why not. I mean, Reflect's going to last 8 turns because of the Light Clay. I'm going to go for the Taunt here because I don't want him to Destiny Bond as I go for the Volt Switch. Because then whatever I bring in is going to die if it kills him, and that's what I'm planning on doing. So I do Taunt, and then I'm going to Volt Switch. If he hadn't gotten the Paralysis, I would have just Volt Switched flat out because I know he's going to go for the Shadow Claw. But yeah, since I knew I could, take the hit because, I got paralyzed, I'm going to Taunt and then Volt Switch out to my Druddigon. He's going to get fully paralyzed, but a Shadow Claw would not do very much damage because it's Reflect and I have, like, max HP. So, yeah, it's really not a big deal. I'm going to go for the Outrage. He switches to Gothitelle. Not really certain as to why. He did tell me this is a, like, max physical bulk Gothitelle, but I'm like, that's still not a reason. I don't know. Maybe he was predicting the Sucker Punch, I guess. I don't know. I just take him out with an Outrage. He's going to go back into his Banette, and he's going to go for the Sucker Punch, and as you see here under the Reflect, that's going to do like 50-ish damage? Something like that. So a Shadow Claw would have done around the same. I mean, it is stab, so it would do like 105 versus 80, but another 100 damage. I'm not going to be worried about that. Go for the Outrage. It's going to kill him easily. I do get the 2-turn Outrage, which is kind of sucky, but I'm like, you know what? I have my Basculin. It kills Fearow regardless. There's no point in switching out. Just stay in. Maybe I'll not get confused. It's going to go for Facade, I guess, just in case he, like, absorbs a status. But, again, you know, a return would have done less than double that damage, and I'm still fine on that. I'm going to break through the confusion, finish him with an Outrage. Yeah, that was the end of the game. That was really fun. It was just a nice, like, NU match, because he had a lot of Pokemon that I have not seen used much ever. I mean, on my team, I mean, Gardevoir, sort of. Basculin's kind of popular. Druddigon, I love Druddigon, oh my god. But Maractus is funny, because I've never seen it used, and it is so bad, because all it gets is, like, grass moves and hidden power. And, like, that's it for special attacks. And then it gets, like, Sucker Punch. It's just, like, so random. But it does get Leech Seed, but its defenses are, like, 60. So there's really no point in having it be some sort of, like, Sub-Seeder, because it's just so terrible and its speed is so low. So I use Choice Scarf with Storm Drain. I figure if I can come in on a Water move and just sort of beat stuff down with Giga Drain with a +1 and Choice Scarf, that's pretty good. And, I mean, again, set up hazards as I did this battle, but I didn't the last one. And Sucker Punch just to surprise things out of nowhere, just in case, like, I really need priority, because you never know. So anyways, I'm done rambling, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed it. It was a really great match. I was super happy after this, and I'll see you all tomorrow.